Hey everyone, it's me, Michael Giudicissi with Sounding Board Executive Coaching with leadership lesson number 4, and that is shattering the 150% myth. Years ago I had a sales rep named Bobby working for me at the home healthcare agency I was VP of sales for. Bobby was talented, but was not getting anywhere near the results that we expected her to. And I spent time with her out in the field, coaching her and auditing her. And she came to me at one of our sit-down meetings and she said, and I'll never forget this, she said, "Michael, I'm out there every day giving 150% for this company to succeed." And that was the point where I realized that I had failed Bobby as her leader, as her supervisor, as her manager. Because never a greater line of bullshit has ever been uttered in the annals of business history. There is no such thing as it relates to human performance as 150%. There are in investment returns, you can get 1,000%. There are in growth of profitability and revenue. But as it relates to human performance, you either have 0%, 100%, or somewhere in between. And that's all we get. So when we allow our employees, when we allow our team members, when we allow the people that we're responsible for leading to falsely program themselves, and we buy into it without challenge of this myth of 100%, 110%. The 100% is a myth, by the way. 150, 110, 200. When we don't challenge that, we allow people to exist at a level so far below their potential performance that we should never look at them as the failure. We should look in the mirror at ourselves. Maybe some of you will be upset by this, but that's the way it goes. I'll bet almost everyone watching this update has never given 100% of themselves in anything in your entire life. I'll bet you've never even come close. Why? Because 100% hurts. It hurts physically, it hurts mentally, it hurts emotionally and spiritually. It's painful. We are not designed to run at 100%. We're not like your boat out on the lake where you fling the throttle all the way forward all day until it runs out of gas. That's not the way human beings operate. If you'd like to know what 100% physical effort feels like, I wrote this somewhere in the past. Go on outside your office, get your running shoes on. I want you to pick about a quarter-mile stretch, and I want you to run that quarter-mile stretch, nice and easy. Then take a few breaths, and then I want you to run a little harder and a little harder. And I want you to do about 10 of those, progressively harder. And then on the final one, number 11, I want you to run from the start as hard and as fast as you can. Maximum effort right from the start, no going back. What's going to happen? Well, if you actually do that, you'll start to go blind. You'll develop tunnel vision as your body shunts blood away from all non-essential functions. You'll probably puke at the end if you don't pass out first, but it's very likely you will pass out, fall down, throw up. Your vision will come back. Don't worry. And then you'll sit there and you'll realize something important. Even then, you didn't give 100%. You probably got close, 97, 98% of your total performance, but you didn't reach 100%. Now, take that and marry it to anything else you've done in your career, your personal life, your professional life, anything. Have you ever really given 100% total commitment, no going back, every resource you have on board to anything? Probably not. The good news is, you don't have to. To succeed in this business world, if you can give 60 or 70% of your capability every day, you can own your industry. If your employees will give you 50 or 60% of themselves at a good, constant, strong level, you will own the industry. The problem is when people program themselves into the 150% myth, they're not even giving you 50%. They're existing at 25 or 30% of capability or capacity. And they're spending so much time telling themselves how hard they're working and coming up with reasons that they're not succeeding, that's lost performance. 60 or 70% will get you in the Hall of Fame. If you hit 6 balls that are pitched for a base hit every time, you'll be the leading baseball batter of all time. If you win 2/3 of your games, your NFL coach will be absolutely in the Hall of Fame. So why do we allow this kind of thinking and programming to go on with our employees? You may have even used the terminology yourself. I want 110% on this project. No, you don't. You want the project done. You want it done right, and you want it done on time. And that doesn't take 100% or 110% because there is no 110. It takes so much less, but it takes a concerted effort. There's a saying in racing that speed wins races, but consistency wins championships. You want to be a champion? You want to lead a championship team? Develop consistency at an acceptable level of performance. Be the example for your team of what 70% every day looks like. I read a recent study that said that employees 40 years old and older should only work about 5 hours a day because that's about all the productivity they've got in them. You can keep them there for 8 or 9, but after 5 hours, their productivity falls off a cliff. Now, whether you implement that or not, it says one important thing. Somebody can work at a high level for 5 hours, or they can way dial back their effort for 8 or 9 just to get through the day. And then they can spend that last 3 or 4 thinking about how hard their job is and how much effort they're putting in and why they're not succeeding because this person or that person or on the other side of the cubicle, they're not doing their job. Your job as a leader is when you see this BS to call it out. You need to exorcise this from your vocabulary. Take it out. Don't ever use it again. You need to get 100% out of your vocabulary because you haven't given it, your people haven't given it, and you don't need to give it. You need to find an acceptable high level of performance that exists in that 50 to 70% range of capacity that you can maintain for a long time. It's like the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise keeps plodding along at the same speed with endurance over and over and over and over and wins the race because the hare goes out fast, looks back, preens, is happy, is excited, and gets past at the end and loses. So, no more. Figure out where on this continuum your people need to be, lead by example, and coach them to that standard, and you'll win. You'll win at a higher rate than you're winning right now. You'll get more out of your people than you're getting now. They'll be happier, more satisfied with their job and their performance and with their leader than they are right now. But it's up to you. You are the example. If you'd like this kind of training in your office for your leadership team, happy to come and do it. Just email me at michaelg@powershottraining.com or give me a call at the number below at the end of this video, and I'll be happy to talk about it. But until then, this is Michael Giudicissi for Sounding Board Executive Coaching, and I promise you I'm going to give you a good 72% of my effort today. I hope you'll do the same. See you next time.